The nation's largest pediatrician society is calling for new action to examine the safety of thousands of food additives and food packaging materials. The American Academy of Pediatrics says many of the more than 10,000 FDA-approved chemicals added to food and its packaging have not been thoroughly tested, and they may affect children's immunity, growth, and behavior. Our Dr. Narula is here. Doctor, good morning. I think this is such an important story. It's such an important warning. First, what are the chemicals that we're talking about? Because they're specific chemicals.
Well, I want to agree with what you said. This is a huge statement by the nation's pediatricians saying, look, our food safety system is failing to protect the health of our children. And this comes after 2 decades of scientific concern that's been raised about additives causing disease and disability. So we're talking about direct additives, which are artificial colorings, flavorings, chemicals like nitrates and nitrites, as well as indirect additives. These are substances in the materials that come in contact with our food. So plastics, adhesives, containers, tubing in the manufacturing processes.
And explain why there's special concern for toddlers. It's not in young children. It's not just when they're eating them too. It can also be the mother eating them when she's pregnant.
Right. Well, children can receive a relatively higher concentration based on the amount they're getting per their body weight, number one. Number two, their metabolic systems, their detoxification systems are still developing. And number three, they have key organ systems that are still maturing. And when you look at the potential effects, it's widespread. It's endocrine disruption.
Yeah,
so
right.
hormone disruption, sex hormones, thyroid hormones. It can lead to potential for obesity, cardiotoxicity, carcinogenesis, immunosuppression. So lots and lots of potential worrisome effects, even behavioral effects down the road.
This seems like a vast array of foods. Here's what the FDA says. It says it's reviewing the findings in the report, and the FDA says if new information suggests that a substance already in use may be unsafe, the FDA can conduct further studies to review whether the use can still be considered safe. But what kind of a review? It sounds like we're talking about a vast amount.
Yeah.
So pediatricians are saying we need a big kind of overhaul of the system. We need better oversight and regulation. We need the FDA to have more authority to go back and review chemicals that are already out there that may have been reviewed years ago with older techniques. We also need updated labeling. We need to look at long-term behavioral effects, which we really don't study, cumulative effects of multiple chemicals, and really better toxicity testing. But one of the biggest issues is that a lot of these additives are getting into the market based on being considered generally recognized as safe. This is the heading they're falling under. This was put out there back in the 1950s. As a way to kind of get things like oil and vinegar on the market.
But most importantly for parents, the really quick things they should do: consume fresh frozen fruits and vegetables. What else? Avoid processed meat.
Exactly. So avoid microwaving food and beverages in plastic containers. Don't put those plastics in the dishwasher. Peel fruits and vegetables if you're not washing them. Look at the bottom of your plastics to look for codes 3, 6, or 7, and avoid those unless it says greenware or...
Right. You should not be using bottles that have 3, 6, or 7 on the bottom of them.
That's right.
And on the bottom, meaning the recycling number.
Exactly,
Oh,
exactly,
Right.
the code.
Okay, Dr. Narula, thanks.